We've known that modern Marvel writers just don't understand superheroes, let alone the X-Men whatsoever. And Chris Claremont, an interview circulated around where he pretty much outlines why that's the case. It's really good. And of course, he's been on record just saying this shouldn't be some big identity politics drivel before, but people ignore it. And Chris is a classic liberal leftist. I think he sees in interviews that Marvel's gone too far, that the mainstream comic industry is not what it once was. And these are political hacks who have gotten into these positions based on identity and not just based on any talent or ability to storytell. That's the main problem in a nutshell. I go over this today, and I would love to have you hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here. Hopefully, we'll earn a follow from you because I'm a comic creator myself and a comic journalist. This is my Fandom Pulse Substack in the description below if you want to sign up there. And I would love for you to be my 450th backer on the Emerald Array. This is Space Marine action. If you like classic Marvel and DC, even the art style, we went for just like classic Jack Kirby because I don't even like the modern comic art styles, to be honest. I could rant about that all day long. I like the classics. I like the Golden Age. I like the Silver Age. There was a human element to it, which was a lot of fun that we've lost these days. And so we're trying to bring that back, guys. We're making comics great again. This is a lot of fun. Pure action adventure. It's high tea. This is the type of stuff you loved when you were a kid, when the X-Men went on adventures, especially when they dealt with the whole space invasions and the like. This is the Starjammers. You are going to absolutely love this, my friends. Grab this. It's in the description below. Thank you so much for supporting us and supporting independent comics. It's been a wonderful ride so far. Happy to see the success of the Emerald Array here. So, Marvel Comics has seemed not to know what to do with their mutant end of their publishing line for quite some time, with failed attempts at forcing the X-Men into a mess of identity politics in recent years, where they've pushed disordered LGBTQ lifestyles at the expense of their readership. Now, Chris Claremont has taken exception to this use of the characters in a recent interview. The X-Men always presented an interesting group of characters with powers based on genetic mutations. The Homo superior was shown as the next step in evolution of mankind, with Professor Charles Xavier teaching young students to utilize powers at his school. Then the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby creation was born out of demand for more superhero teams. The Fantastic Four became a hit bestseller, propelling Marvel Comics to heights it had never seen before. And the team wanted to recreate the formula with another book of a mostly male-led team with one heartthrob female, Jean Grey. X-Men did not see the same success and teetered on cancellation for years until Chris Claremont revitalized the franchise in the 1970s with giant-size X-Men. Here, he introduced a world with a lot of new mutants, showing, much like Gene Roddenberry did with Star Trek, a group working together despite political differences. In the initial group, there was a German, a Russian, and more to present a twist where it came to be more like a United Nations fight against evil. It wasn't people sitting there going like, gosh, I'm Russian, and you better respect that I'm Russian. It was not that kind of thing like it is today at all. So some stories under Claremont did hit on social justice topics, but for the most part, the X-Men were a swashbuckling adventure book with a lot of interpersonal soap opera drama. The formula Marvel carried to success and eventually transformed the book into Marvel's bestsellers. In recent years, however, Marvel Comics has been trying to push identity politics with the book. The company hired transgender activist Vita Ayala in a recent iteration, turning Kitty Pryde into a lesbian. This was just so cringy. Nightcrawler's origin was also changed to push the agenda, making him the result of a birth by two lesbian mutants. A lot of lesbians in this Homo superior. I don't know how they're going to propagate as a species with every one of them being a lesbian. It's like, how are you going to have children? It doesn't make any sense. They just accept it in the X-Men wedding special. It's further insulting because, we've got an officiating Nightcrawler who's a Catholic priest doing this. He should say no. My gosh. But that's what they're pushing all over again. Because of instances like this, X-Men has lost the plot, and Chris Claremont's called out the LGBTQ activists in the past. He confirmed he never intended it to be an allegory for homosexuals when he spoke at an LGBTQ-themed convention called FlameCon. Yep, it's a bunch of flamers. Here, while trying to court and appeal the rainbow flag audience, he told attendees he didn't intend the X-Men to be a stand-in for the LGBTQ community. He said, there's a space between every panel. You can go wherever you want. Who am I to get in the way? And that's kind of the attitude of people in the past. Like, you know what? If a reader wants to enjoy something in the way a reader wants to enjoy something, you're my customer. That's cool. It's not what I intended, but go ahead, float your boat. And that's exactly like what people used to be like in the creative industries. And that's exactly what I hope I can be too. If you're a liberal, if you're a homosexual or whatever, I hope you enjoy the Emerald Array just as much as my right-wing audience does. My books are for everyone. It's a lot of fun. It was a diplomatic answer, but now he's given another interview where he shows he doesn't approve of the recent handling. At a convention, he says, The challenge is to see themselves at school as minorities. That's Charlie's job. That's Magneto's job. From the perception of where they are as a half a dozen, maybe a dozen kids, young people living together, but looking in on themselves as ordinary people. So their focus is we're just normal people, and we've got our mutant powers and all that, but we're not sitting here being oppressed. Right? And that's exactly what the modern social justice group does. They have abilities. Leonard Bernstein had abilities, but from their perspective, it's not much different. He composed and played brilliant music. They saved the world. AB. The key is to think of them as people, not heroes. Not, yes, I am a minority. No, you're a person who's trying to live a normal life. Other people may see you as a minority. You may react to them as one. You may look at yourself objectively as a minority, but as a person, you're a person. And so it's not a focus on that. It's a focus on the personal. It's a focus on the humanity. And that's why these classic books were great, because humans first, humans winning, even in the X-Men way, the humans win if you think about it. It is something that just feels good to an audience. But when you sit there and you go, oh, we're gotta be the segregated minority on a Krakoa island because we're oppressed, it feels really bad, and nobody wants to read that because we're already dealing with that kind of crap in modern politics when the leftists try to push this stuff on everybody all day long. And in fact, that's all Marvel Comics has been about in the last 10 years. They've been doubling down worse than ever before in 2024, 2025. It's crazy. I can't believe they're just pushing this agenda again, hoping it'll work again. It's like insanity, but here it is. Nightcrawler is the most dynamic non-human physicality on the team, but his attitude is, I am the person God made. Who am I to argue with God? I'm just trying to live my life like a normal guy and see what happens next. Yes, he used to hide the way he looked because he's not stupid. Blue skin, 2 fingers and toes, a tail definitely make you stand out from the crowd. Took Logan to challenge him to take off the mask and be a normal person and see if anybody notices him to get him to do it. Other than that, he just tried to live a normal, cool life as someone who's acting, who's a theater performer, and who is a stuntman. Makes a lot of sense. That is the way you should look at these characters, not as characters, not as objective concepts, but as ordinary, normally really cool people. That's what the superheroes are as a function. It makes a lot of sense. The rest of it falls into place. You can look around this room and see the people around this table. Oh, that's an X person? How do you know? Well, it looks sort of like Colossus. How do you know? Well, doesn't he? Well, maybe Peter Rasputin. Who knows? You just see him as a person, not Colossus. And that is the key to creating great characters and doing great heroism. It's not this identity nonsense that they've been pushing over and over again at Marvel Comics. So Chris Claremont understands that when you go into this sort of thing, when you push that whole evil politics over and over and over again, try to beat your audience over the head with a current event topic, going, oh gosh, Marvel voices pride, mommies, 2 mommies, yay, that you're causing problems for the characters, for the franchise, and you're not telling good stories, you're not making the X-Men what makes the X-Men great, and that's exactly why modern X-Men, it just isn't appealing to anybody. Oh gosh, don't even get me started on Exceptional X-Men with Eve Ewing. They threw in a race grifter on there. That's her entire deal. She has no qualifications for writing, and she turned it into a giant mess with Kitty Pryde, with this weird lesbian crap that they're just pushing over the story and everything. It's just a disaster. Same with Dazzler. Oh my gosh. And of course, they're doubling down with a Dazzler event coming very, very soon. They don't seem to learn whatsoever, but maybe someone will listen to Chris Claremont and actually hire writers who actually understand how to write fun stories and write real heroes. Hey, imagine that. It's exactly what we do here, my friends. Please grab this Emerald Array graphic novel. It's 100% done. We're getting this ready for print now, and it's shipping very, very soon. Be our 450 backers and more, and we appreciate you for being there, supporting real comics. You guys are amazing. It's been the best audience ever, and you can see it's resonating because we tell good stories. We do them regularly, and that's exactly what people are looking for out of independent comics, and that's why we will win. We'll be back soon. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you.